Yeah, those guys are pretty amazing.
There's something about biking out on the open road. People open up.
She got sicker, was not able to actually get back on a bike. And then one day, she asked me if I would ride for her.
Denny Simonavis is talking about his wife, who wanted to ride the bike to beat cancer while she was trying to beat cancer.
And she said, well, 100 miles, you can do that, can't you? Well, yeah, I can do that. Sure, no problem. Not realizing what 100 miles was.
He learned the hard way how tough it is to pedal 100 miles for her. Then he learned the hard way how painful it is to literally put himself in her shoes.
And 6 months later, I went back and had another test, and my numbers had elevated again. So right away, we knew that that wasn't something that was an anomaly.
The bright blobs on the screen are prostate cancer.
So what thoughts are going through your head when you get the diagnosis?
Oh my gosh, what thoughts? You know, the first thing that came to mind was my wife and how she took the news. I was in shock. I was in shock because I consider myself in pretty good shape.
What did the way she took it teach you or help you when you had to take it?
It helped me to be positive at all times. Not only because of the fact that you feel better if you don't dwell on the negatives, but also because of the fact that the people around you, believe it or not, that are treating you, if you're positive, they're positive.
It wouldn't be an easy decision for me. And everybody thinks it would be, but it wouldn't.
It's not an easy decision.
No.
I mean, there's so many options that you have. I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I got more options than most people.
Mr. Positive did his research and selected radiation over surgery. Now he's the one in the hospital with his life in the hands of high-tech machines circling around him.
He'll get the standard 8.5-week, 9-week course of treatment, but there literally will be no limitations on his activity level. I've told him to do what he feels like doing, and that includes riding his bike as far and as long as he wants to ride.
Have a safe ride out there, everybody.
So, in the middle of hormone and radiation treatments, Denny Simonavis gets back in the bike saddle, surrounded by his team of guys who've raised $90,000 for cancer research the past 3 years. Today, cancer treatment is with treats.
They do have Nutella bananas.
He laughs, but he worries too.
My biggest fear is will there be side effects? I mean, that's a big fear for sure. Okay. But I also know that I'm not going to let that bother me because, you know, I'm going to continue on until I can't.
When he can't keep up, his team puts him in the cradle so he can draft off the others. That's what we do in this world. We take care of each other.
Danny on the left!
And when they get close to the finish line, they wave him up front. At a time like this, you remember things like late night talks in your wife's hospital room.
We just talked about how we could help others, so other people don't have to go through this again, you know, and don't have to go through what she went through.
All right, Dennis! All right, way to go, guys!
After Denny's pedals stop turning and his muscles stop twitching, his voice is still quivering.
We did it.
How do you feel?
I feel awesome. It was amazing.
Isn't that a great feeling?
Oh yeah, I can't even tell you how good that feels.
Just like
Emotional,
Yeah.
but good, for sure. Did it for my wife and for me.
John Bowl, Wave 3 News.
I think he's getting ready to come out that door.
Hello!
Santa Claus
Good morning, everyone.
is an entertainer,
Take a picture with Santa Claus.
photographer,
Take some close-ups.
distributor,
Okay, you want candy cane with one of mine?
Look at kiddo.
intimidator,
Oh, I'm sorry.
regulator,
Everybody back off the carpet, just one at a time.
interpreter,
Hey, how you
Give
doing?
you a hug.
Okay, I didn't know what you wanted to do.
interviewer,
What do you want Santa to bring you for Christmas?
Mama Lucy party surprise.
negotiator,
I want a real toy in the gun.
Oh, I don't know about the gun, but we'll get you a toy.
and he's even a
All
cheerleader.
right.
And I want a toy.
I want you to obey your teachers.
I want Mama to put it.
Everyone wants something from Santa Claus. But what does Santa want for Christmas? No one ever asks that question. Walt Queen had 2 precious gifts, and he wants them back. They were taken from him right here on I-65 downtown back on August 10th of 1989. A speeding trucker crashed and hurled a load of improperly secured cars into oncoming traffic. Walt Queen's 18 and 20-year-old daughters never had a chance, as the man who did it sat in court, convicted of reckless homicide, awaiting a prison sentence. Walt made a stunning announcement.
But today my wife and I release you. We are not angry at you. We do not hate you. We forgive you.
Had we not done that, I believe that over time, anger and bitterness and the pain would have consumed us. Jump. Oh!
Then, long before Walt would play a store Santa and field requests all day, he asked for something. Walt Queen asked the judge to give the man who killed his daughters probation instead of prison time, and the judge granted Walt's wish.
That was liberating for us. We did that for ourselves, not for him. How can we pray, forgive us our trespasses if we don't know how to forgive others?
This is Rebecca Lee.
Hey, Rebecca.
You might think it would be hard to hoist daughters into your lap after yours were taken away, or it might make you a better Santa.
Probably the loss of my girls, the longing for them to be present, the sadness of not ever knowing our grandchildren has increased my capacity for compassion.
Walt Queen is living the most famous Christmas movie ever made. Every day he's visited by three spirits: the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Our daughters, for me at least, are no longer in our past. Their memories are in our past. But they are in our future. See, they're a part of the great cloud of witnesses that surround us. And that's my hope.
Long ago, Santa Walt learned life can surround us with sorrow. But if we find a way to smile, even when we don't feel like it, good things will come.
Well, I still try to practice forgiveness.
John Bowl, Wave 3 News. To tell this story, I have to start at the end.
We called all of the volunteers that adored this horse, and they all came around, and we put him down that night, and it was amazing. And he was just relaxed, and he wasn't tense, and he wasn't stressed, and that was that.
The end of the line for thoroughbreds can come well past the finish line.
He died because he tried to stomp on a fly.
Yeah, a fly was bothering him, and we were walking him in, and he went like this to get the fly, and he broke his leg.
How old is a horse supposed to live? What is life
Well, that's a very good question, because nobody's really kept him as long as we have.
Thoroughbreds often live long past their breadwinning and breeding days.
He loves getting his picture taken.
But then what happens?
And I knew it was happening on a regular basis in America. I mean, every 2 weeks, the slaughter trucks would pull up in Suffolk Downs, pick up about 10 horses, and off they'd go. At first, they told me, I said, where are they going? Oh, yeah, they're going to a riding academy in Maine.
Michael Blowen went from Boston stable worker
and I saw everything. Get the game on, dude.
To Boston Globe film critic.
One of the things I realized is that people like movie stars, and they like stars, and these horses are stars.
When he noticed the horse industry's aftercare program was rated PG for pretty gory, he became a retirement home director.
Can I have a kiss? Thanks. You're my favorite horse of all time.
This retirement home doesn't use walkers or canes, just carrots.
And this might be the most important part of my job.
You don't have to be Mr. Ed to quickly learn who the
Swan's Way will be happy now.
Old friends are.
Oh, and this is Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Stop it. So get me out of here. Your paddock's almost done. It'll be done tomorrow or the next day, and you'll be able to live out there.
Old Friends Farm started 11 years ago with one leased paddock and only 2 horses. Now they care for more than 150 horses, but there's one big problem. The waiting list to get in here is long.
There are horses that have been on our waiting list for 8-10 months a year, and I really want to take them, but I just don't have the room. I mean, what really makes us decide is how much room do we have?
How do you decide?
It's terrible to have to decide.
Really?
Yeah. Because
it's easy to decide to rescue horses like Swan's Way.
Hey, Swanee, what's going on?
He was still being raced at the age of 15.
The answer to why they were doing it is because they were crazy. That's the answer, because there's no logical, rational explanation for this horse. because I'm coming back. See, Jerry wants more carrots. He's getting mad now.
It's easy to rescue the rich and famous.
He's 20, I want to say 25. He's
How'd you get him?
25. Bert gave him to us.
Burt Bacharach?
Mm-hmm. And Bert sent us a check for 50 grand.
It's tougher to rescue Eldefer,
There's Yahoo and Google.
who comes with 2 goats.
He adores the goats, and the goats adore him. And they're like the Secret Service, and he's like the president.
Some are champions, some never won a race. The horses come from all over the world.
And we brought him home from Italy. He was living in an abandoned monastery
In Italy.
in Italy.
The visitors come from all over the world.
I'm horsey.
She's horsey, so
it had to, I found it on the internet and we had to come. The fact that somebody's taking care of the retired racehorses, because it's a real big issue, both in England and over here, you know, and they're sort of the forgotten animals.
Michael Blowen didn't forget.
That's why I identify with these horses. My racing and breeding career's over too.
The best movie he never reviewed is showing all around him.
Ah, stop it. It's my new shirt. Jeez.
And it's just a charismatic old folks home. In Georgetown, John Boll, Wave 3 News.